where best friends and next-door neighbors, Willow and Lillian, spill the tea on murder, mysteries, and other things that go bump in the night. So get your favorite teacup ready, and let's get into it. Welcome to Cruelty Podcast. This is Lillian, and with me is Willow.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
I was talking weird because I was making sure our mics were working.
She has to play not just voice actor, but also music mixer and
audio engineer.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's and I don't know enough to know why it fucks up sometimes.
Yeah, we know nothing. We just know.
I just know push this button, make it go, and then sometimes it doesn't, and then I get nervous. Also, if you hear any like white noise in the background, y'all, it's too hot not to sit with a little bit of a fan.
And there's bugs. I forget that there's like the cicadas here are so loud because it's just background noise to me.
Yeah.
And then I'll take like a video or something, and it's like,
and people are like,
really
what the fuck
loud.
is that?
Yeah.
No, y'all, the bugs are screaming outside. Yeah. Last night, it was so loud. I have like a huge box fan, a window unit, and a little fan by the bed. We could hear the bugs scream over all of that.
Mm-hmm. And it's so humid in Arkansas right now.
Fuck.
Like, I almost swam here. Like, it's just, the
like
air is thick and
walking
oppressive.
Through hot maple syrup.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
It's not. I don't recommend.
And look, I know it's very YPO of us to like bitch about the weather, but it's what we have.
It's literally the hottest year we've ever had in recorded history.
So we're allowed.
I think it's fine.
We're allowed.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we got a new month's theme.
Yeah, it's right. Forensic firsts. And you have the first case. And I didn't know what you picked because I didn't ask. I just didn't.
Well, I found this one intriguing. We'll get to it. I don't really want to give it away at the very beginning. But this is a forensic first that I didn't really think about. And when I found that, I was just casually watching Forensic Files, and I was like, oh, this is very interesting. So the trigger warnings for this aren't really big. I don't go into too graphic of detail on anything, but I do describe the crime scene and some aspects of abuse, but it's not, I don't get it too far into it. So vague violence, I guess, is what we'll be talking about tonight. So the story begins on October 7th, 1994. The RCMP responded to a phone call about a car that had been parked and left on someone's property. It was located down a dirt road in Canada's Prince Edward Island. Police discovered that the car had no plates, but through the serial number, they were able to find that it belonged to a 32-year-old stay-at-home mom of 5, Shirley Duguay.
Oh, I do know this case.
It's an older one. Yeah. Yeah.
I remember this Forensic Files episode.
I thought so because like this is like one of the very first few seasons, and I've been just like comfort watching Forensic Files just like while I do dishes and stuff. And so
that was the show episodes you watched when you stayed home from school because you pretended to be sick.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's a comfort show. But yeah, they tried calling Shirley, and she didn't answer. So they left a message on her answering machine, and she never returned their phone calls. So they decided to go down to her house and kind of do a wellness check and see if she was there.
Isn't it crazy how we like don't have answering machines anymore?
Right. I mean, we have like
voicemail.
Voicemail on our phone, but who checks that?
Oh, I don't. You cannot call me. It just isn't going to happen.
And I luckily have an iPhone, so it kind of gives a readout, so I don't even have to listen to it.
Same.
I can just read it.
I do read it.
And I don't answer phone calls.
Ever.
So, no. But if you texted me and I didn't text back within 24 to 48 hours, depending on what the subject is, then maybe worry. But if I'm not home, that's when you worry, because that's where I live and that's where I'll always be.
That's true.
I don't leave.
You don't?
No. Well, cops showed up at Shirley's house. She wasn't there, but they did find her father and her children's babysitter. They were both also looking for Shirley.
And the children were there, I'm assuming.
I believe so. They may have been like in their rooms or, maybe with another family member, but police were specifically talking to her father and the babysitter. And it had been 4 days since she left the children with the babysitter.
Oh, that's fucked up.
4 days ago, she just told the babysitter, like, hey, I just got to go run some errands real quick. I'll be back in a little bit. You know, I'll see you guys soon. And then she left. And police asked them why they hadn't reported her missing. It had been 4 days. Like,
yeah, I mean,
you're just as suspicious as we are of the situation.
That is pretty sus.
Right. Well, they said that they hadn't reported her missing because they were fearful that the younger 3 children's father, Doug Beamish, would possibly get violent.
With them?
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
Or with the children or something. They were worried that he would do something. He was a demolition worker, and the two had been together for 15 years. They were common law married, and they had 3 children together, a set of twins and 1 other child. They had been separated for the past 18 months. He was extremely abusive and violent, and if he knew that there was a case open for like a missing person, like she was missing, if he knew she was missing,
he'd come after the children.
He could come and take the children.
Okay.
And they were trying to find her before anything bad happened.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. They
That's
were really trying
sad.
to protect her and to protect the children. But yeah, I think they were like in the middle of like kind of, you know, getting back together, getting back to square one, going back over, because they were in a constant search for her during those 4 days. When the police came in, they were like, well, basically like, we were just about to call you, kind of like it had been getting there. So
less suspicious then.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Actually more understandable once you understand the dynamics.
Yes.
And like what would have happened to the children, you know, had it gone awry. So detectives went down to talk to Doug while the car was being processed. He admitted that it had been rocky in the past between the two of them, but they were being civil for the children and they were on good terms. He said that he saw her last week and that he was having car trouble and she had actually taken him to work. He said that they agreed to meet up later that evening after he got off of work, but she never showed up and he had never seen or heard from her since. He said that day, whenever she was taking him to work, that something was bothering her and that it's likely that she might have gone to Toronto to visit friends, kind of, you know, let loose a little bit or something, take a breath of fresh air or something. But police checked with all of her known friends in Toronto and none of them had heard from her.
And who would just leave the kids with a babysitter and not say, hey, I'm going to go to Toronto for a few days?
Yeah. Hey, I'm having a bad day. I'm having a rough time. Like, can you watch the kids for a little bit? Like, she was a mother, like of 5, you know? Like,
yeah, you ain't gonna just, I mean, look, y'all.
There are mothers that have
wanted to run and
I know.
like screaming naked into the woods because my kids are driving me nuts. But I would never abandon them like that, and I doubt Shirley would.
It wasn't in her nature.
No, it never is in these cases.
So, while detectives were, you know, searching her vehicle, kind of going over the scene, it turned into a crime scene pretty quickly because pretty much as soon as they got it in there, were able to look at it and open it up, they could see blood splatter.
Yeah,
and it was sprayed on the inside of the glass, like in the hood and on the dash and on the side of the door. And there was a blood pool in the seat. So basically what that said was that she was struck in the face. That's where you get the upper blood splatter.
Yes.
And then, you know, it kind of spilled down and pooled down underneath her. And so you got that really big pool of blood underneath her.
Now, sometimes they can tell and I don't know if this is the case or if you know this about this case.
I love blood splatter analysis.
Oh, I do too.
It's very interesting.
It's fascinating. Mm-hmm. But sometimes they can tell by the sheer amount of blood left at a crime scene or in a car or whatever that the person probably that they're looking for isn't alive. And
absolutely.
Was that the case here?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, and they could tell that she had either been bludgeoned with an object or a fist because of the trajectory of the
cast off, as they call it, in blood spatter analysis.
Love it. I love it. Like I mean, because I grew up watching CSI and stuff too. How they have the little pointers coming off of it, so you can see the direction.
Yeah, they take pictures
and you can see
stuff.
if it's multiple hits or just one hit based on the trajectory.
And Dexter a blood spatter analysis?
I don't know, because I
person?
only got a couple episodes into Dexter, and
Me
I was
too.
like, oh,
That's why I'm asking.
Going.
Okay, Teabags,
Yeah.
if you know if you're a big Dexter fan, please let me know so I'm not spouting,
misinformation,
lies.
But yeah, so based off the blood splatter and the blood pool in the car, that was a crime scene, right?
Oh, yeah, obviously.
So they continued searching the area. They searched up to 500 meters away. They found a pillow. Now, this was Shirley's pillow. And if you knew Shirley, you would know this was her pillow because she was small like me. And just like me, like I had an 81 Volvo station wagon.
I remember that fucking thing.
That was a wild car. It had a sawed-off key. Anyways, it took a lot of engineering to even start the car. But I had to sit on a pillow like this. So her pillow that she sat on to see over the steering wheel was found 500 meters away, covered in blood.
Yeah, it's not good.
And yeah, my stomach dropped when they said that because obviously it's relatable to me, but also anybody that knew Shirley would know instinctively.
She had to have her pillow to drive.
That pillow being there covered in blood meant the absolute worst outcome for her. Yeah, she was only 4'9" and weighed less than 100 pounds. So she was very frail,
itty bitty,
very small. Very petite woman. A few feet away from her bloody stained pillow, they found a t-shirt and a shovel that had 2 long black hairs attached to the shovel.
Did she have long black hair?
Yes, she did. Very similar to Shirley Dugay's. So they suspected that maybe she was buried close by because that's where the shovel was. Mm-hmm. So back at police headquarters, a concerned citizen called to say that they had seen the car that looked like the car that they had posted. That was Shirley's. And outside of the car, she just happened to see, as she drove by, a large man standing next to a very small woman outside of the car having an argument. Now, it was dark. And it was very hard to see. She couldn't make out, who these individuals were. She could just kind of see their shape and size. But she said it was down a road called the Allen Road, which was about 20 kilometers away from where they found the car. So it was, fairly close by. She said it was around the time that she went missing. And, she couldn't tell for sure if it was Shirley, but it sounded like it could have been. And so maybe she was just calling to see if maybe it would help the search. Now, after this phone call was placed from this point on the Allen Road, one of the largest searches in Prince Edward Island history ensued. Thousands of volunteers, police officers, members of the Canadian Armed Forces searched endlessly for Shirley. They searched by helicopter, on foot, with dogs. They searched every stream, every holler, every waterway. They even used psychics and hypnosis. Literally anything and everything that they had to use at their disposal, they used. And many of the psychics seemed to say the same thing. Now, of course, grain of salt in every situation, but I only bring this up because it's relevant later. But every single psychic said that she would be buried near water and near a pine tree in a shallow grave. And I find it interesting when they all say the same thing without knowing each other. So they continued to search. 15 miles away from Shirley's car, police found a plastic bag, and inside was a pair of shoes and a large man's brown, blood-stained leather jacket.
Oh, damn.
The hair found on the shovel matched Shirley's. They recovered hair from her hairbrush and compared the two samples, and it did match. Yep. Mm-hmm. They did a blood test. Again, because this is in the mid-90s. So they did a blood test, and they had to take samples from her dad and compare it. Yeah, and to compare it against, to see if they're the markers. And the genetic markers are what they were looking for. And so it did line up 50%. So it was definitely her. And her blood did match the stains on the car, the pillow, the shirt, the jacket, and samples recovered from the shovel. But there was a few droplets. You could tell they were just like straight down droplets that did not match Shirley's.
So the police are going to assume then it's the killer's blood and that he injured himself in
That she fought
committing the
back.
crime because she fought back.
The shoes they found there were a size 9, which is the exact same size Doug Beamish wore. They sent them to a forensic podiatrist, which this is
so cool.
This kind of information is so delicious because I don't realize this. Most people don't realize this. And
That there's a forensic podiatrist.
well, and that your feet tell so much information.
Just like your hands, your fingerprints.
Yeah. If not even more, because we shift our weight uniquely. Every single person holds their weight differently, has different shape, has different impressions. Your toes may curl up or curl down, all different kinds. Our feet are so unique. It's incredible.
You know, I'm
It's
just sitting
absolutely
here
incredible.
thinking about it for just a second. I'm like, yeah, I limp. I hold most of my weight on my left leg.
I push off with my right foot really hard. All of my shoes growing up would have like a cut, like almost like a crease down the center because I tiptoe. I do like my son who's autistic. We do like the autistic tiptoe thing. I did that all growing up. All my shoes were bent in half because of it.
They still are kind of.
I'm sitting here with tiptoes. My arch is like really, really big. Yeah, I could do that Barbie.
I lean very heavily and I have a slight limp because of my car accident.
Right.
So I guess that would change the
Yes.
impressions of my feet. That's
Yes.
so fascinating.
Absolutely. So his feet sort of turned inward, like his toes pointed inward.
A little bit pigeon-toed,
A little bit. And so in his shoes, even,
It turned
it
them
turned
inward.
them inward. And he had his big toe turned upward. And so, because they did a cast of his foot. They got a warrant and did a cast of his foot. And they even, before even looking at the shoe and having it examined, they were like, okay, well, if his toe, curves up, then that toenail must rest against the top of the shoe.
Yeah, it
when they
must.
opened up the shoe, they saw a nail mark. It fit perfectly.
That gives me the chills.
Isn't
That's
that
crazy.
interesting?
It is fascinating.
I love this. I love this type of
These
science.
scientists that do these work to bring killers and stuff to justice just blow me away.
Isn't it great?
This is what I wanted to do when I
Yes.
was young.
Yes,
But it's a lot of
absolutely.
fucking school.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, I know. I would have loved to do this too. But yeah, I just find that really, really interesting. So yeah, it was a positive match. So those were definitely Doug Beamish's shoes, although he denies ever wearing them.
Of course.
Of course. He also said that the leather jacket wasn't his, but inside that leather jacket, they found about 20 small, brittle white hairs.
Interesting.
These hairs were examined and determined not to be human at all, but animal hair.
Oh?
What animal? Now,
They will find out.
Yes, but I find it very interesting because the investigators on this team specifically, man, they really did it. They really did good. It's one of those things where you would like just normally overlook. But one of the investigators, when he had gone to Doug's house to talk to him, he had remembered that Doug's cat brushed up against his leg because later on he was wearing like black business
And he noticed cat hair.
pants. He noticed the white cat hair on his black pants. Later on he had to brush it off. So he had two sets of memories of this cat, both the cat brushing up against him and then later on brushing it off. And I think that somehow enabled him to solidify that memory.
Yeah.
I wonder if maybe he didn't brush it off later, if he would have actually remembered that that was even a thing.
Yeah.
Because like,
that's
these are things that
interesting.
we overlook, and it's very human to overlook these,
Oh, yeah,
especially in a
absolutely.
high tense, like high stressful situation. You're talking to a fucking killer that you think, But yeah. So he remembered that Doug had a white cat, and these are white hairs. So they ended up. So they had to first of all, they also had to make sure that not only was this Doug's cat, because they ended up having to go get a warrant and
For the cat's hair.
cat. It took them forever to even get this cat, by the way. It was a really big deal.
no.
Because the cat's name is Snowball, which I think cocaine, but they're in Canada.
Wow.
Canada. They're in Canada, and so I'm just assuming Snowball means snow, but
Do you know how many white cats is named Snowball, though?
That's true. But yeah, his name's Snowball. And so the investigators had to go to Doug's house and they chased this cat. It's like the cat knew. And so
can't catch me. Meow, meow.
It took them about 30 minutes of these investigators running all around his house from room to room, underneath the couch, like pulling shit out,
kitty.
Trying to get this cat.
If it's my cat, just open a can of tuna fish.
When they were done and they finally did get the cat, they read the cat his rights. And afterwards, the cat meowed.
Sorry. That's so stupid. I love it very much.
It's so brilliant. It's so
Can't they make
respectful.
the cat a deputy instead? I would like that better.
The cat did get rehomed to a good, loving home. I will give you that. Just
thank you. I didn't want anything bad to happen to Snowball.
So yeah, Snowball was taken in for a blood sample and this blood sample had to be hand delivered by RCMP. They had to look everywhere for somebody who would even do this analysis, because this is the very first time cat hair analysis has ever been used, ever.
Cat hair DNA analysis.
Yes. So they had to find somebody. They called 1 million people, and finally one person was able to actually have like the lab and everything to do this. And RCMP officers had to actually like fly there and hand deliver it because it was like, evidence.
Yeah.
Essentially. The lengths that they had to go through to get all of this.
I love this very much.
And also in order to test it perfectly.
Perfectly? Kill me.
They also had to gather all of these other cats from Prince Edward Island to make sure. Yeah, because you never know. They're on an island. So that cat could have tons of other relatives out there with similar DNA. And so they had to compare it against. And yeah, it came back definitely.
It was Snowball's fur. Wow.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, just like the links that they had to go through to do all of that.
It's so impressive, isn't it?
1 in 70. They had to do the math to make sure that they knew there's 1 in 70 million chance that was not Snowball.
Holy shit.
Isn't that great?
I don't know about
you. You can't even do that with the cats on this mountain. They're all related.
Listen, and I know the motherfucker. I named him Teddy, and he lives like everywhere, and he is this huge...
I'm bottle feeding 2 of the kittens.
They're his babies. Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course they are. He's this huge tuxedo tomcat, and he's very friendly once you have him outside, but I felt bad for him, so I let him inside, and that cat bit the shit out of me, and I was like, back out with you, Teddy. But yeah, he bangs all the cats in this area. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, so DNA analysis confirmed then that jacket was worn by somebody who came in contact with Snowball. Yeah. And Shirley at the same time.
Oh, wow.
Because Shirley's blood was on the outside. The cat's fur was on the inside.
Oh, so it's somebody who wasn't just like visiting.
Right.
Because for the fur to get on the inside, it likely had to have been on the clothes before you put on the jacket.
That's right.
Oh, man. I'm doing the CSI thing. I'm putting on the glasses.
It's
the
good.
Sunglasses.
It's good shit.
Yeah, it is good shit.
So 7 months of searching went by. 7 months.
I hate that.
Through Canadian... Sorry, it's hard for me to say it. My brain wants to stutter every single time I say it. But, through a Canadian winter, basically. And at the very peak of spring, at the very, beginning of the warming, I guess, if you will, there is a man out fishing. And he spots something on the riverbank. He sees it's just like a pile of brush, and it looks out of place. It looks like somebody put it there. It doesn't look natural.
Right.
So he goes up to it, he moves the brush aside, and he sees the small human deceased body under a pine tree next to the water in a shallow grave.
Damn, psychics were on this one. This case gives me the chills. I don't know why.
I know. The investigators arrived to the scene, and they knew it was her. Just as soon as they got there, though, it began to snow. And one of the main investigator that was on the entire case, I mean, he was very hands-on. I mean, they had thousands of people searching for her, but he still stayed hands-on the entire time. Kudos to him.
Yeah.
When he gets there, now it had been a particularly warm afternoon, so he wasn't really prepared. He didn't have a coat. He had a rain jacket on, but it began to snow. And he took off his raincoat and he laid it over her body, both to preserve evidence
and her dignity,
because he had finally found her, and she is somebody that he spent sleepless nights after
almost
nights for 7 years. Yeah, almost a year.
Yeah,
searching for her. And I just,
it's very touching.
Big respect.
Sometimes humans can be bros,
right?
You know, sometimes humans can be bros.
Sometimes, yeah, absolutely. So lucky for investigators, she had been frozen there all winter and hadn't really thawed out yet. So yeah, she was obviously decomposed, but not as much as she could have been. And they said that if they would have not found her for like even just a week or two, maybe, that the ground would have been thawed out enough that they wouldn't have had any real evidence to gather from
she would
it.
have been skeletal.
Yeah,
by
absolutely.
Then.
So an autopsy was performed, and it was found that she had died of blunt force trauma, just as the blood splatter analysis had suggested. Her nose was broken, and her jaw was broken in 3 places. One of her front teeth was embedded in her lungs.
My God.
He was arrested and still denied ever having this brown leather jacket. But police found a photo of him wearing that jacket dated the day before Shirley went missing.
Oh, my God.
Don't you love those old school cameras that tell you the date?
Gotcha, you know? Mm-hmm. You know, encoded in the image information is the date of every picture you take with your cell phone. Just FYI for people trying to fake evidence.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, don't listen to her.
No, I mean, you can't.
I know.
So, don't.
Doug's blood samples were taken once he was arrested, and it was confirmed that the other blood droplets found at her car, like it was literally like right as you get out of the car. So he was like looking over, like standing out of the car, looking into it, probably grabbing her. That was his blood mixed with hers. So yeah, she did fight back.
Good.
All like 90-something pounds of her. Fought with every ounce of her.
Well, yeah, she wanted to be with her baby.
He was so big and so strong. That's terrifying. Police also found a letter that Doug Beamish had written to Shirley saying that he'd kill her before he allowed her to have custody of their children. The letter was written in blood.
Fucking Doug, chill out.
I know.
God. What is with these dudes? And here, let me tell you this, too. And I'll put a domestic violence warning on this because it's a little triggery. Because I've had this said to me. I was said, I will kill you and the kids before I ever let you, get custody of them.
Yeah, mine was, I will kill you and take my son and we will hide, in the bayous
and here's what I want to understand is the men that do this literally have no interest in their children whatsoever.
They don't. They
Zero.
use their children as props or as trophies or as
bargaining chips or blackmail.
Or as like the mask that they have on society. Like, oh, look, I'm a good father. Here's my son.
It just... I wish I could impart to these men because I think the issue is we don't let men have feelings because feelings are seen as feminine things.
Right.
This is, again, why toxic masculinity hurts everyone. And if men could just grieve their relationships like a normal person, like when we get broken up with, ladies,
we can cry.
What do we do? We cry. We go get some Ben and Jerry's. We watch some sad movies. We talk to our friends. We hug it out with our friends. And I just think
there's nobody for guys to cuddle. There's nobody for guys.
And that's what they need. They need a hug, and they need some ice cream and some buddies.
And it needs to not be gay or lame or stupid or whatever.
No, it just is human. Y'all, we're human. We've got to express our feelings.
Because this is what happens when you don't.
I just feel so bad for men that they can't express their feelings. They can't be vulnerable. They can't be soft.
Because if they are, then
they're just ridiculed. And that's disgusting.
And that's why they get so extra violent and so extra,
that's
aggressive.
Why with my boys,
they have to, like, overcompensate.
I've always encouraged, cry it out. Let's cry it out. Come on, let's feel our feelings. It's so important. And, it reminds me of that thread on Reddit where men put what they would do if society wouldn't be mean to them about it. And it was stuff like, I'd like to smell like flowers. And that makes me cry.
That viral video of black men frolicking.
I know, it's
just
cute.
breaks me. No, it breaks me. Like I can't think about it right now.
No, now I'm already tearing up. The guy
they should be allowed to frolic without getting fucking shot.
Just wanted to smell like flowers because flowers smell nice.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't want to smell like a piece of wood. I want to smell like flowers. And I'm like, girl, same.
Yeah.
And it's not gay to want to smell like flowers because flowers smell good. Otherwise, we wouldn't put perfume on for men.
Right.
If they didn't enjoy the smell.
Right.
So, I mean, I put perfume on for me. But, a lot to attract a mate. We're like, we're going to smell nice. Why? It just smells and clothes and self-care and crying shouldn't be gendered things. It's stupid. Okay, I'm off my soapbox now. I'll get back on it in a minute, but not right now.
Yeah. I mean, we wouldn't be here if that was the case. You know what I mean? Like,
I'd want to not be here. If we could just not be here and all this murder would stop, it would be rad, but it never will. So,
right.
There we go.
So Doug Beamish was found guilty of second-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 18 years. He allegedly demonstrated, quote-unquote, low reintegration potential and is still in prison today.
Good.
Because he is just so violent.
Anybody that would write a threatening letter like that in their own fucking blood never needs to see the light of day again. Right. That's some crazy shit.
But yeah, this is the first time that animal DNA, I think it was any animal, not just cat DNA, was used to convict a murderer. And with this, the press went crazy. And I think it's really cute because the scientist that did the testing, he said that after this case, it was for years and years and years and years of
animal DNA
of people calling him hey, I need your services because we found some hairs. Yeah. I love that. From all over Canada, from all over the United States, he was getting calls to solve murders with their pet DNA, and I find that really fascinating.
I super love it. What an interesting story, really.
And the headlines were really great because we're all cat people.
Cat solves murder.
Perfect match was a really big one.
Oh, Lord of mercy.
The catastrophe for criminals.
Oh, fuck off.
And forensic evidence.
Okay, mark my words. Listen to me now. If y'all didn't know, I want to break it down real quick. What we all do for the podcast here.
Oh, yes.
Okay. I do not do the social media.
No, that's me.
I'm too busy.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's what I do, and then I'll say what Willow does, and what Will does, and what Maris does.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because we're totally independent. No one is helping. We're doing it all on our own. Merch design and everything.
Yep, that's right.
All right, so here's what I do. I set us up to record. I do our audio test because, again, I put the audio engineer hat on. I take that off and I put on host hat.
Yes.
And then I take off host hat and I
said voice actor earlier.
It was stupid.
I glitched. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I like when you say things wrong. It's funny.
Yeah.
And then I'm a writer because I'm doing all the descriptions.
Yes.
Those are me. You're welcome.
Yes, thank you.
By the way. But mark my words. I will not be using any of those puns. I think it makes light of a murder too much.
It does, but
I get it, but it's also fuck off. Here's what Willow does. Of course, all the research and co-hosting.
Right.
Or hosting. I don't like to call Willow a co-host. Yeah. I'm also a co-host. Does that make sense?
Do you want to call me a sub-host?
I don't like you that way. And I don't top. I know all you men out there who hate me and want me to step on you. I don't top, you cowards.
Man, I bet you would have them lining up if you did step on people.
I used to step on people. I was a dom for a while. Oh yeah, I was. But you know what I don't find hot? That. You can find it hot. I'm not kink shaming. It's just not my thing.
Yeah.
I'm a boss all day. At night, I want to be a bitch. Anyway, and what Will does is make sure our audio sounds good, removes, sometimes, y'all, the stuff we take out.
We actually don't do it as much as most other podcasters.
I know, because we're a casual podcast. Yeah. We're not slickly produced. Monday, when we make money, I call it Monday because of Money Day, we will produce more than we do. Right. Meaning you won't hear an and you won't hear my dog going crazy in the background. Mm-hmm. We only really cut out because Will is a full-time college student and full-time, like, has a full-time job.
Right.
So we don't have time for all that. And then Maris doesn't do anything. He doesn't do any research.
No.
He doesn't make any notes.
No, he's
he doesn't.
just here.
He's just here to be cute.
Yeah, he's moral support.
He's our mascot. Maris is a mascot of the podcast.
Yep.
But basically, that's what we do. So we tired because Willow does all the social media as well. She does the Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah, and I like to find the pictures for the episodes.
I don't like to. I'm just going to let you do it from now on because
Yeah.
I just fucking hate
Yeah.
it. I'm just I don't know.
I basically do like a mini documentary in pictures because I'm very visual with learning. So
and see, I'm
it's
just
nice for me.
like, it doesn't even matter. Google it. So
Yeah.
I'm going to let you do that from now on. You're welcome. I'm just going to, I don't need to control everything.
Yeah.
I don't need to control everything. But I do control the business time, which isn't now, apparently. What?
I had to end this with a quote.
Oh, okay. End it with a quote.
Because, again, this month, I'm just, like, I already have my episodes picked out for what I'm going to be researching this month.
Yeah, send me that
but
list.
I'm still just binging Forensic Files just because it's good for my sanity right now. It has great background music and stuff. So I'm just really happy that I get to watch all this Forensic Files this month. Thank you, patrons, for picking this. But at the end of the Forensic Files episode, the narrator, Peter Thomas,
I love the narrator.
he ends the episode with a poem.
Oh,
And I'm going to read it to you.
okay.
He says, T.S. Eliot penned these lines in his old Possum's Book of Practical Cats.
I love this poem.
You now have learned enough to see that cats are much like you and me. We've learned that applies to their DNA too, and Doug Beamish now wishes that wasn't true.
Yes.
Isn't that great?
Of course, T.S. Eliot didn't write that.
He didn't write
ending
that
bit.
last line.
No.
But no,
Cats Like Me and You.
Peter Thomas did.
Would you like some trivia on that T.S. Eliot poem you just read? It was
Yeah,
the
I would.
inspiration for Cats the Musical.
Oh, really?
Yes, 'twas.
I've never seen the musical. They creeped me out.
As well they should.
I was very too scared growing up, but I do love real cats. I like cats.
Me too.
I like cats a lot.
The Cats
I have 5
movie,
right now.
Here's some. So they made Cats into a movie that we all laughed at because what the fuck was that?
I never saw it.
Do you want some trivia about this one as well?
Please.
Okay. Well, first, they CGI'd first buttholes on everyone. Cat buttholes.
Oh, okay.
But then after test audiences went, I don't like that because who would?
I don't like to look at my own cat's butthole, which it displays to me all the time.
Yeah, they're like, I'm Kitty, look at my butthole.
Look at this.
Yeah, so they went back in and CGI'd them all out. The Cats movie, y'all, one of these days I'm going to get into Discord.
How much did it cost?
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't fucking know that much.
it must have just double or tripled.
I've seen it. I've seen the Cats movie because I love bad movies. And one day I'm going to get in Discord and do a live react. But that movie was too bad to be bad good. Like, I'd rather watch The Room on repeat than 1 second of that movie. I felt like I took bad drugs.
Yeah,
like not in a fun
what
way.
It looks like.
And I still don't know what the fuck a jellicle cat is. What the fuck is that? Someone tell me.
That means.
Y'all out there listening, I'm sure we have somebody who's a Cats fan. And the musical's fine. I mean, I don't like it because it's very 80s and ridiculous. But if you will please tell me what the fuck a jellicle cat is, I will be, I don't know, maybe.
Say the word again. I'm not.
Jellicle.
Jellicle?
That's what they're like, it's a jellicle cat. At the end, that's what you want to be. And I don't know what that is.
Oh, my brain is auto-correcting you to angelical.
No,
Okay.
jellicle cat.
Don't know. Yeah.
And then there's the song, the Mr. Mistopheles song. I won't start because it'll get in my head for 100 years. But fuck. What the fuck is that movie? Anyway, it's business time. Since you ruined my transition. Go to hell. God. Anyway.
We're already there. I am seriously melting.
It sucks. This little fan helped me today.
Good.
I do not feel wobbly at all because usually by this time I'm not well.
Y'all, every episode during the summer, I am 95% terrified
Yeah.
that Lillian might have an epileptic issue.
Wow, you butchered that.
Yeah, I did. I'm kind of short-circuiting myself a little bit, but
Yeah, electric meatball not acting right.
not many people really understand epilepsy and how severe it can be.
So a couple things, fun things first. I think they're fun. It's me and Maris's 10-year anniversary on August the 9th.
Aww.
August 9th is when I went to the airport and picked Maris up.
Aww.
And that we met in person for the first time, and Maris hugged me so hard he popped all my vertebrae because he was nervous and awkward. And I was like, oh, and my back was like crack, 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 crack. And my back has felt better ever since.
Aww,
isn't that cute?
that's
Love, the
cute.
healing power of love.
Okay.
Also, September 3rd is my birthday.
That's right.
I'd like to have a nice time, so if you want to say happy birthday, Lillian, happy anniversary, Maris and Lillian, I'll have all our info in the description of this podcast. We would surely appreciate it. Moving right along, my soap collection will be releasing in around the middle of the month. Yeah, it's late for summer, but you know what? Summer goes all the way to the end of September. If you don't think I'm right, you can look it up.
That's so aggressive.
Well, because all my life I wanted to be a fall baby, and I assumed September was in the fall.
No.
Bitch, no, that's a summer month. It's the shittiest month of the whole
The day
year.
I was born was and will always be the most beautiful day of the year. October 26th.
Calm down.
It's never been not pretty. I've had the shittiest birthdays sometimes.
That's true.
But it's still goddamn pretty outside.
It is. November is my favorite month.
Mm-hmm.
And
I personally like the dead trees more than the orange trees.
Nope.
But I
do
love
not.
wintertime.
I do
can't
not
wait.
like wintertime. I did when I lived in Tulsa because it meant it wasn't fuck hot out, but I can't cope. I don't have central heat. I think if I had central heat, I probably would like winter, but instead I'm uncomfortable and cold and worried about my pipes the whole time.
Yeah, that's true.
So my soap collection will be coming out. Look for that. Please join our Discord. Why are you scared? Don't make me run another contest just to be in our Discord. How silly. Get in there. Just get in there.
Come
Don't be
on.
afeared.
Water's nice.
And I'm going to tell you this. If you're not listening to Maris Monday, you should. Next Maris
So
Monday.
threatening.
I know. I like to be threatening. Next Maris Monday, I'm going to be covering a bunch of cool unsolved cases and unsolved mysteries that have sort of weird, almost supernatural, but maybe not, explanations. And I've taken a lot from the old Unsolved Mysteries show. We're taking a break from aliens, but only briefly. We'll come back to them. I'm excited. Why are you doing a little dance?
Oh, the
Just
Unsolved
crack me.
Mystery song as soon as you said it.
I want to be the female Robert Stack. And I told Maris this last night, and he's like, yeah, well, Robert Stack wasn't so slutty. And I was like, oh, it's true.
Well,
He said, but I am
part
stacked.
2 can be.
It's true.
You are
So he was forgiven.
racked and stacked.
That's true. So I want to wear the trench coat, and I want to come out and be like, maybe you can solve a mystery. Oh, it's very exciting. Anyway, Maris Mondays have an Unsolved Mysteries vibe. So if you like that show, check it out. Because I know we have some listeners who don't Maris Monday because they're more into the crime.
Or we have listeners that will binge Maris Mondays on a certain day.
Yes.
Like when they're feeling down, they'll just go through
they're
and
funny.
listen to all of the Maris Mondays at once, which I think that's pretty cool too.
However you want a Maris Monday. But I was just sometimes, I don't know, I just want to mention that we do it.
Yeah, for sure.
I am running a contest this month, though. We're about to do a drawing for our reviews. If you left us a nice review.
Some of y'all have really been
Oh my goodness.
nice.
Thank you.
Thanks.
We'll be doing that drawing in the next couple days. And check our Facebook for the winner of that.
Yeah. And I'm going to add a section to our highlights on Instagram for reviews. So even, later on and,
Oh, I'll do this contest again.
Yeah, but I'm saying that for now on, I will put all of our reviews on Instagram. So that way, if you leave us a review, you'll be able to see it right there.
That is correct.
That's me.
And what else have I got? I don't know. Oh, are you a small business owner? And would you like to sponsor a week of this podcast, please get in touch with us on how we do that. Money is not involved, for the record. We're just small businesses helping other small businesses, and I do mean you made it with your sweet little angel baby hands.
Yep. And if you just want to shout out on our podcast and, us to rep you on Instagram, we will.
We sure will. We do, and we'll do it for a whole week. So you have to get in touch with us. The links for all that is in the description box as well. I want to talk about our Patreon real quick, and then I'll be out of here.
I love our Patreon, dude.
That's right.
This whole podcast is Patreon ran, and this month was voted on by Patreon members.
So if you are a $10 and up tier patron, you can vote on the monthly theme. That means you get
executives.
Yes, and patrons also get to suggest cases, which we do on Patreon. We have a whole list of cases we choose from that our Patreon suggested. You get bonus weekly episode. We do 3 to 4 a month. It just depends on our time.
We try to do one a week. Sometimes we'll do 2 1 week, and if we have to miss a week, we'll do 2 in a week.
I think we're still 1 behind, but we'll always catch up.
Yeah.
We try.
It's just
our
been
best.
really hot and dangerous for us to record too much.
Yes, that is correct. We also have, and that's the tea. I would say they're short little episodes, but lately we've been going like 30, 45 minutes.
So, people say that they like banter sometimes, and since we don't want to banter too much when somebody else's life is the topic, that
for
doesn't.
sure.
So we have extra episodes in our first tier, our $1 tier, where it's either just banter or discussion, case discussion, or just like what the fuck is up in our lives, getting to know each other, that kind of thing. Eventually, we'll do Q&As and stuff too if you guys have any questions.
Yeah, I don't feel like there's enough. We're so open about everything. I don't think there could be any questions. We share too much.
But so, we're almost to 300. We're like 270. I think this is 276, 277 this episode. And then we have, half, if not more.
We have about half that amount in Patreon.
In Patreon.
Hundreds of episodes.
We're almost to our 3rd season, and I'm really freaking excited about that.
That is exciting.
And so we just have our Patreon becomes more and more valuable every single day. So check it out.
And my last thing is, yes, I am still doing tarot card readings. Y'all have been so nice about those. You email me back if it resonated with you. And I was so on the money last night that it gave me the chills. And I always like to pull extra cards.
Tonight's a full moon. I know y'all probably won't. I mean, the full moon is 3 days. So look, if you hear this and it's the full moon, y'all should hit her up because this is a perfect time.
It is
to get a reading.
It is, but not only that, especially if it doesn't matter what stage of the moon. I'm just as
I just really love the moon.
Yeah, I do too. But get a tarot reading from me, and if you're curious and you've never had one, let me pull one card for you, and I'll do that for free. Just get in touch with me. I'll pull one card for you for free, and if that doesn't sell you, no loss to anyone.
Exactly.
So,
she does it for me all the time because I question life a lot. And
sometimes I'm just like, this bitch needs a card pulled.
Yeah, she does. She slaps that card in my face, and I understand.
I consider all my readings really positive.
No, they're really good, though.
So if you're scared, oh, I know she's going to tell me to dump them. Yes, but it will end positively.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
But other than that, that's all I got. And if all you can do to support the podcast is listen, thank you. We have so many new listeners this month.
Really, though.
Last month, rather.
Yeah.
And it feels like a little bit of pressure, because you just want to do good for people.
Girl, I get the first day jitters almost every single time we record.
I have lately. I have gotten really stuck on my next Patreon case because I've researched too hard and I need to like take a step back or it's going to be a 5-hour long episode.
Yeah.
And while some people may like that, no, I'm not. I'm not going to do that. So I'm actually like shortening the Scott Peterson case dissection, so it's less long. But yeah, because it's just I want to do a good job.
Right.
And so I do get a little nervous sometimes, especially when our numbers go up, which is great. I'm not bitching, but I just get a little nervous.
Yeah. It's like the room gets crowded and you're like, oh, that's a lot of eyes.
Like I'm the new student or something.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, hi. But yeah, hey, I love you guys. Thank you so much for your continued support. This has been a dream come true. And
Seriously.
It continues to be a dream come true every day.
Single day.
Yeah. I love doing it.
And it feels like we're living through an apocalypse together right now.
Sure does.
There's a little bit of that, like, camaraderie. We're living through some bullshit.
We're playing the violins on the deck of the Titanic.
Yeah, we are. We're going down with this ship.
Well, where else are we going to go? Anyway, hey, love you guys, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Us on your social media platform of choice. Linktree/cruelty has all of the links. Check out our Patreon for exclusive episodes, merch, ad-free episodes, live ghost hunts, and much more. Please be sure to subscribe. New episodes are uploaded weekly. Thank you so much. See you next time. Music and production by Lillian.